Hello, everyone, and welcome to the She Shoots podcast, Women Empowering Women in the Shooting Community, Season 3, Episode 28, National Range Day. My name is Regina Ruiz Ordonez, and I'm from the Canadian University Shooting Federation. And joining me today, as always, are Deneen Tomlin and Casey Gavinchuk, and Kelly Melanson from Maple Seed Project, Sunfire Radio, and CCFR Women's Program. I forgot to mention, Deneen and Casey are from Lady Guns. I would like to start with thanking our sponsors, Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fund, positively shaping the future of the outdoors. Every cent donated by rounding up at checkout goes towards helping Canadian organizations just like ours. Savage Arms, home to the Stevens single-shot rifles and shotguns. Beretta, family-owned and operated since 1526. Vortex, the best in optics. And Canada First Ammo. That's it for me. Up to Deneen and Kelly.
Thank you very much, Regina. And hello, Kelly. We are back. We have a guest that we've had on before, and we're very excited to have you back, Tracy. So welcome, Tracy Wilson. I get the honor of doing your introduction, and then we're going to get into some questions about a very important day that is being held in Canada called National Range Day. So let's start with a little bit about Tracy Wilson. Tracy is the Vice President of Public Relations for the CCFR and Canada's only in-house registered gun lobbyist. Her political influence and tenacious spirit make this lady an asset to the CCFR team and Canadian gun owners. Not only is Tracy the VP, Vice President of Public Relations for the CCFR and their registered lobbyist, but she is also a published author, having written articles for women's hunting magazines. Tracy and CCFR CEO Rod Giltaca can be seen regularly on the CCFR radio podcast and the YouTube channel with their Week in Review. She is the original CCFR Calendar Gunnie Girl, cover model, and one of the CCFR Women's Program executive team members. She's a mom, a grandmother, a sports shooter, and I took the liberty to write a couple things down. She's the queen of the gun range, the godmother of the Gunnie Girls, and the heart and soul of the gun lobby. Welcome, Tracy Wilson.
I love that. I need that on my business card. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So Kelly's going to kick us off with a bunch of questions, I think. Yes, the heart and soul of the gun lobby. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely true. So thank you very much, Tracy, for joining us again. You're probably, I think you're the most, we've had you on the most out of everybody.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
but
I appreciate that.
It's because of how involved you are in the gun community through advocacy, through the calendar project for Women's Days, as well as, the OIC. We discussed that. And now we're talking about National Range Day. But if somebody who lives under a rock and doesn't know Tracy Wilson, do you want to tell them a little bit about yourself and also the CCFR before we get into National Range Day?
Yeah, I would. So thank you very much for that amazing introduction. I don't know, I feel kind of flattered right now. But yeah, I'm Tracy, and I'm a founding member of the CCFR, the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights. And we are a relatively new organization as far as national advocacy orgs go. We were born in 2015, sort of out of the premise that we would be under an unfriendly liberal government and going through all kinds of things. And boy, were we right. I am a competitive shooter. I am a hunter, although I don't have time for either of those things lately. These liberals keep me so busy. But yes, I am also a military daughter, wife, and mom. We are 26 days away from my 21-year-old girl coming home from an 8-month-long deployment in the Middle East. And I don't know, I can barely contain myself. I'm so excited for that. But she's had the opportunity to shoot all kinds of fun stuff out there and some full auto out in the desert and, all of that. And the CCFR, our goal is, of course, to combat the negative legislative effects of the liberal government that we've been experiencing for the last 9 years, but also to advocate for fair and effective legislation for gun owners, but also credible work on crime, violence, and gun smuggling. So we've been doing all kinds of projects with law enforcement as well. In fact, I've done a couple of projects recently with our CMPN West. And just last week, I launched a new program that I designed for the Ontario Parole Board to help parole officers make better decisions when it comes to, criminals who have committed violent crimes with firearms, which of course is not part of my community, but I've sort of developed a little bit of experience dealing with this, just, born out of the fact that we're defending ourselves against being blamed for these things. So, yeah, so the CCFR has been super crazy busy, and we did found 3 National Range Day. And I guess that's what we're going to talk about today. So, yeah, what kind of questions do you have for me on that?
Okay, so National Range Day, how long ago was it implemented, and why do you think? Why was it implemented? We'll get into why it's needed in a second.
Yeah, so this will be the 3rd year for National Range Day, and the idea behind it was, to be honest, Rod and I were watching, and it was like National Poutine Day and National Waterbed Day, and like all of these ridiculous things that people are celebrating, and I was like, well, wait a minute, like there's literally millions of Canadians who are licensed to own firearms, and millions more that come out to the range with friends and family to try it. Like, why wouldn't we have a national day to celebrate gun ownership and all the amazing things that are involved in our community? So we developed National Range Day, and to us, it's an opportunity for ranges, clubs, and gun owners across the country to open their doors to the general public, to people who maybe otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to try the shooting sports. And of course, we all know the very best way to influence somebody's opinions about guns and gun ownership is to take them to the range. So
Correct.
The idea behind it.
Wonderful. When is it? It's
always the first Saturday in June every year. So this year that falls on June 1st. So it's kind of early in the year this year. But yeah, June 1st across the country. You can find all kinds of events in your area. If you are looking to host an event, you can register it there. And if you're looking for resources, you can find all of that stuff at nationalrangeday.ca. It's sort of your go-to link. There's all kinds of posters and resources and how to, we always recommend doing maybe an open house type of event, but a lot of clubs are also doing women's range days or youth shooting days at their clubs, which is great. We're kind of incorporating everything at my club. It's like basically a fair with guns. So it'll be a lot of fun at my range, but all kinds of people will be celebrating. So it's really important to keep it going.
So I want to ask a question about that, Tracy. We've had a couple of years worth now, and so what's the appetite been since the inaugural range day? And you've just talked about what your range is doing. What are we seeing clubs doing that may be different each year?
Yeah, so it is picking up steam. I think the first year we had 104 clubs participate, and it increases by about 100 clubs each year, which is pretty good pickup for a relatively new program. It has gone pretty mainstream. I've seen clubs or organizations that we've really not had a lot of contact with who are now promoting it. So that's great. And you'll notice when you go to nationalrangeday.ca, there isn't a single CCFR logo on it. There's no CCFR branding. It's not our colors. It's not our look. It's kind of its own entity. And that's intentional because I don't want some, a different organization who maybe wouldn't want to promote something with our logo on it. They don't have to worry about that. It doesn't belong to the CCFR. It belongs to every single gun owner in the country. So yeah, that's intentional. But yeah, I've seen a lot of ladies' range days. I shared an event just on Facebook the other day where they're doing like a youth shoot, which is really great to get some of the young shooters out to give it a try. And a lot of open houses. And then even, some of the instructors and stuff are doing special courses, and some of the stores are offering sales. Like there's all kinds of stuff going on for National Range Day. And if anybody out there listening is hosting something or sees an event, if they send it to me, I'll share it out there, and let's promote the heck out of it and make sure that everybody participates in this, because I think it's really, really important.
Why do you think it's so important?
Oh, sorry.
Well, I think it's really important. Like I said, I mean, we've got national days to celebrate everything from poutine to waterbeds. And, I've been a gun owner for 27 years. And I got to say, my only regret about the CCFR is that we weren't born earlier, because I feel like we did a little bit of a bad job with our branding as gun owners in general, not the CCFR, but I come from a little bit older generation, and we were sort of taught to keep our sport and our gun ownership and all of those things kind of on the down low. Keep your head down. Maybe you won't be noticed. Maybe they won't pick on you. Maybe you'll escape legislative punishment. And that was absolutely the wrong direction. So for me, the reason National Range Day is so important is we're opening the doors to ranges all across the country, to everyday Canadians to come out. They can see what it's about. They can see the safety and the stuff that we're implementing, and maybe just maybe they'll walk away with an open mind to what the shooting sports is really about. And the idea is just to kind of normalize that. I mean, we've seen legislatively that it's been very difficult to combat some of these gun bans and then the handgun freeze and all of these things that gun owners have been going through in the last 9 years, because I run into people all the time that didn't even know we could own AR-15s or handguns. So to me, that speaks to the fact that we've done a really bad job at sort of normalizing that, because people are afraid of us and they shouldn't be. So to me, that's why it's really important. And, 20 years from now, when I'll probably be gone, I'm hoping that if nothing else, my legacy will carry on in this, and it'll just continue, and it'll just be a commonplace in this country, and people will know, respect, and love gun owners and recognize that we're just average citizens with an extraordinary hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that it's agnostic to the CCFR. I love that it's meant for all types of shooters and range enthusiasts. So to that point, Tracy, do you happen to have one or two little stories from a range day where you brought a new shooter and the results spoke for themselves? Any stories that you might have to share with us? Put you on the spot.
Yeah. So we at my National Range Day here in Ottawa, we hosted at Eastern Ontario Shooting Club. That's my home club. Great club, kind of in the east end of Ottawa. And Vortex comes out and they set up a great, display, and they let people come and shoot their cool guns and check out their amazing scopes. And we've got rifles, shotguns, pistols. We've got a kids steel silhouette range, which is just for children. It's free to shoot, and it's all single shot 22s. And then we've also got the cowboy action guys set up. So they're in full period costume, and they've got all their cowboy action stuff, like their wagon wheels and their chuck wagons and all the lever guns and all the cool stuff. And it's really cool because people will come out and see them. And I know last year we had a bunch of girls. I brought a bunch of cowboy hats and stuff. So if you wanted to go over and see the cowboy action guys, you could throw on a cowboy hat, shoot some of the cool lever guns or the wheel guns, and they'd sort of give you a little bit of instruction. And it was really great for social media because it makes super cool videos. And I remember there was a bunch of new Canadians, and there was a group of women who were new to Canada. And, it was cute because they had, I don't know what you would call it, but their headdress, like whatever it is they wear, where they're from, but they stuck the cowboy hats on top of it. And they were over there shooting, wheel guns and lever guns and hooting and hollering and saying, giddy up. And it was just, to me, it was so funny, but it was so endearing because like a lot of my neighbors here, they come from countries where the only thing they know about guns is violence. So to see them be able to come out and come to Canada and enjoy the freedoms that we have here and the incredible sport and community that we love and embrace, and to see them participating and just totally out of their element, but loving it. To me, that was probably the best thing ever. And then, of course, just seeing a lot of my own family and friends come together, and we work together as a great big team. And, the event only lasts a couple of hours, but anybody who's seen my National Range Day, of course, I can't do anything on any kind of small scale. It's got to be absolutely ridiculous. And I've got bouncy castles and, cotton candy, and we'll have a popcorn machine this year and axe throwing. And it's literally like a town fair. And just to see all the families out and the parents bringing their kids, and the kids can try shooting and then eat some cotton candy and go jump in the jumpy bouncy castles. And they're just having a blast. To me, that means everything to me, because that's exactly how I view the shooting sports. Is it's been an absolute family to me, and it's where I've raised my kids.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you, Tracy, for sharing that. And now I want to be at your range day. That's for sure.
Mhm. Ask Kelly. It's
Yeah,
kind
we've
of
been
funny because it's all the things Ottawa hates, right? Guns, bouncy castles, and all that stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah, it attracts the kids because even sometimes you got parents who want to come out and try shooting, and if they've got small children, like it's tough to get some childcare on the weekend and whatever. And it's like, no, just bring the kids. Whether or not they want to shoot, they can go bounce on the bouncy stuff, and there's games there for them to play, and hot dogs and cotton candy and all kinds of crazy fun stuff. And the parents can go and shoot, right? So yeah, it's a great time.
Yep, been to the last couple, and I'll be there again this year as well, helping out, probably at the
Thank
rifle
you.
range again. It truly is a really incredibly fun time. Now, that being said, everybody doesn't have to have bouncy castles and
No.
47 different demonstrations, and
Oh yeah.
it could be as simple as actually just having a small ladies day event or a youth event, or even just, as Tracy indicated, an open house. Come and see our range, come and try out a couple of guns, see if you like it. That's exactly what National Range Day is. I think more and
Yeah,
more
and
people are.
actually,
Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say I've got a couple of people who've written in, and they're maybe in remote areas, and they're not really members of clubs, but they live way up north or whatever. And I'm like, hey, take somebody out to the back 40, anywhere where you can go legally discharge a firearm. Even
Mhm.
if you took somebody out into the back 40 or out into a field or a clearing somewhere where it's safe to shoot, let them maybe shoot some pop cans with a shotgun. Like anything goes, right? The idea is it doesn't have to be at a range, even though it's called National Range Day. The idea is just to go out, celebrate the shooting sports, and share it with somebody who hasn't had that opportunity. So yeah, literally anything goes. You can be as little as you want or as big and crazy as you want.
And are we seeing indoor, outdoor ranges, specifically just shotgun clubs or just rifle clubs? Are they all participating?
Yeah, they're all participating. I know a number of the kind of fancier high-end indoor ranges like Range 519 in Cambridge. They're great supporters of the CCFR. Dean over at Select Shooting Supplies. And I know he's hosting one inside. Lots of outdoor activities. That's kind of, we wanted to put the date not too far into the summer where it's blazing hot, but we hopefully we have an opportunity for good weather, but we'll see. But it's rain or shine where I'm at, so we're doing it either way. But yeah, we're all kinds of clubs. Like you've got shotgun and trap and skeet clubs. You've got pistol clubs. All kinds of different clubs are doing activities, and I know there's even some hunting events that are taking place. So yeah, it doesn't have to be at a range again. It can just get out there. That's the most important thing. Get out there and preferably take somebody new with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, if people aren't able to get a National Range Day together, and maybe their club is interested in it, but they just haven't been able to put it together this year, it'll continue next year, and they can still access that same material. The National Range Day logo that we have on the screen, it's going to be pretty consistent. So we'll continue. That's the branding for it, so they can actually start planning now.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I know that it is sneaking up on us pretty quick here. We're less than a month away. So it might be a little late. Even if it's a little late and you can't get it together with your club executive to plan something at this, you know what? You could still say, hey, on June 1st, it's a beautiful Saturday. Let's grab a couple of friends and take them to the range as guests, or go out in the back 40 and shoot some trap or whatever it is that you want to do. You can still celebrate. And then you've got a full year to start planning for next year. It will always be the first Saturday in June, excuse me, whatever that falls on. So yeah, it'll continue year after year, hopefully, long after I'm already gone. So that's the plan.
Can people find supporting documents or tools or media kits or anything that would help them organize their own range day on their website?
Yeah, that's right. So if you go to nationalrangeday.ca under resources, there's posters like the one that you're showing now. There's a variety of posters, and of course we change them every year to reflect the date. So those get updated. There's promotional videos on there that you can use to share. And then there's, of course, some sort of how-to. You can take it or leave it, mold it to fit your club or your, whatever you've got available to take somebody out. But yeah, there's some ideas there on how you can do that. And of course, we've been sharing pictures and videos from National Range Days across the country for a couple of years now. So people are picking up on ideas, and I see it evolving each year. It's just kind of getting bigger and better. So yeah, we'll just keep that going.
Outstanding. Well, a little shameless plug on the side for She Shoots. We put together a 6-part mini-series for how to put together a range day. So you don't have to follow every single bit, but if you want to put together a range day, there might be some good pieces of information in our little mini-series, and you can find that on our YouTube page. So hopefully that'll help out with range day too.
Excellent. Yeah, beautiful.
So so afterwards, I highly recommend people take pictures and post them on social media and spread them wide and far. Not only does it show us as Canadian gun owners and out there enjoying, but those people who've never been to a range also provide them with the ability to post these photos as well. How important is that to get that messaging out and use social media?
That's really important. It's important at National Range Day. And of course, I always encourage it at Ladies Range Days as well. Social media is such a really powerful tool. I mean, it can also ruin your life. I spend way too much time. But besides that, it's a really powerful tool, and you can reach an audience sometimes of up to millions of people, right? Depending what you're doing and how many people are looking at your stuff. So even when we do Ladies Range Days, I'm always like, hey, can I take your camera? Do you want me to get some cool pictures of you and your friends? Get some cool pictures of them shooting, as long as you're doing it from a safe position. I think it's really beneficial, because if you think about it, it's nothing for one of us to post, some range pictures or some shooting pictures on our socials. People expect it, right? That's what we do. But for these, average suburban soccer moms or people who aren't in our community, to begin with, when they start posting them, it's extremely powerful, because their friends and their neighbors and their colleagues and their family members start saying, hey, wait a minute, that's really badass. What are you doing there? Like, where was this? I want to go with you next time. I want to learn too. And next thing you know, we're growing and growing our community. And I've never, ever been to any type of range day, whether it's a women's range day or National Range Day, where we don't come out of there growing new gun owners, because they've tried it and they just loved it, in particular women. So they love to do it.
That's a super positive outcome. And I think I recently read a statistic, and I believe it was one of the CCFR postings recently, that gun ownership is on the rise in Canada.
Yeah, that's right. So just last year, we had 100,000 new gun owners. Yeah. And that's especially incredible, because like we spoke about earlier, it's been an incredibly unfriendly 9 years under this government. They've attacked gun ownership in every possible way, and they continue to promise to do that to us. And yet people are not dissuaded from going and getting their firearms license, from buying guns, and from entering our community. So it just shows how resilient we are as a community. And to me, that just pushes me to do even more and better every year for these people. I just love it.
It's absolutely
That's why
true.
You're the heart and soul of the gun lobby, Tracy Wilson.
Yeah. I like the Gunnie Godmother. That's a good one. I like that.
Gunnie Girl Godmother. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're the Gunnie Godmother as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I actually think that as you indicated, there's more. It's a more and more growth within our community. So we've always said 2.3 million Canadian gun owners in Canada, but as you said, last year it's increased by 100,000. So that's 2.4 million.
We gotta start correcting ourselves. 2.4. Yeah.
And as part of that, I think that some of the restrictions that we've had has had a positive impact on that. More people than ever are just flocking and getting their our pals, and believe it or not, our pal courses are still selling out. It's hard to actually not sell out of these, and people are still looking to get in. So I think that's a positive reflection of changing tide, and also all the work that the CCFR as well as National Range Day has been doing with Canada.
Well, and that's what I keep telling people. Like, people ask me all the time, is it worth going for my restricted? And I'm like, look,
Absolutely.
okay, in politics is one of those things that every time the pendulum swings back and forth, they take away and they giveth, and they take away and they giveth. And the way I look at it is, eventually we will have an election and things will change for firearms owners in this country. And what happens if that freeze is lifted and suddenly you are able to go out and purchase a new handgun, but you didn't go get your RPAL? You decided just to get a PAL, and now you're waiting in a crazy lineup, because if you think courses are full now, imagine what they'll be like then when the market opens. So my advice to everybody listening is, if you only have a PAL, or if you're going to take your PAL, go ahead and do that RPAL now. Have it in your back pocket, so when that day comes, you're not scrambling around looking for a course that you can get into. You can
Correct.
just go ahead straight over to the gun shop and start selecting which handgun you want to buy. So yeah, it's totally worth it. And it's actually really important to do that now. And at the same time, the more of us there are, the harder we are to push around. So
Right.
yeah, I'm really grateful to gun owners for just being so resilient and sticking it out. And yeah, I've said all along that things will get worse before they'll get better, but they will get better. And I
They
think
will.
we're going to be up on that upswing pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. I believe that
Yeah.
too. Hopefully it's going to be sooner rather than later, though.
Yeah. Well, come on. Yes. Election, please. Yeah. I mean, that's not the cure all be all. Politicians are the cancer, not the cure. But at the same time, yeah, it's been a really tough haul for gun owners, and that makes this National Range Day even sweeter, because I know the interest that's shown across the country when you're getting 2, 3, 600 people out to an event, like local people who are not even in our community. To me, that's just incredible. They're curious,
Mhm.
they want to know the truth, and they're coming out to find out. So that's incredibly valuable.
So again, where can people, if they're interested in attending one of these events, where can they go to check out what's in their local area?
Yeah, so if you head over to nationalrangeday.ca, there's an event locator button on there. You can click
Okay.
that, and then you can adjust. So if you're looking for an event within 20 kilometers of your current location, it'll show you. Maybe if you live somewhere a little more rural and you've got to spread that out, you can move that marker out to I'm willing to drive 100 kilometers to find an event or whatever. You can adjust that to suit yourself. If you're in an area that is rich in National Range Day events, you can always hop around and go to a couple, which is a lot of fun. If you're in the Ottawa area, you best come and see me at Eastern Ontario Shooting Club. And yeah, just the most important thing is to get out. If you are not able to host one, or your club wasn't able to get that together for this year, don't fret. You can do it next year. And you still have lots of time between now and June 1st to gather up a couple of buddies, or maybe work colleagues, or moms from your playgroup, or whatever, and just take them out to the range on June 1st and celebrate in your own way.
Correct. I heard a little rumor. I heard that you're still looking for volunteers to help at EOSC, the nation's capital, National Range Day. Are you still looking for a few volunteers?
Like, I think we've got about 35 on the list now, which is, I think, we've had each year. Of course, I would never turn anybody away. But yeah, we've got quite a few. Actually, we've got a pretty big crew, because we're pulling together CCFR volunteers and Eastern Ontario Shooting Club volunteers. But yeah, it ends up being quite a busy, big event. And I've been pumping it out to all the local mom groups, and I've infiltrated all these community groups in my area. So I've been sharing it out, and you get all these wild comments from moms like, this is so badass. I can't wait to come and try it. And I'm like, bring your kids. There's lots of stuff for the children to do, and you can come out and have a good time. And it's free to enter, a little token fee for ammo. And other than that, just come out and enjoy a great day.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. We're tripping over. You keep mentioning soccer moms and mom groups and online mom clubs. So we always ask our guests on every podcast, why is it important for women to get involved in the shooting sports? So I know it's because we do spend a lot of time on social media, and so we promote things really well. But why is it important, moms and women and young girls, to get them out and involved?
I think for me, there's a couple of reasons. I know I'm a mom of 2 grown girls, and for me, it was really important to have the girls come out as they were growing up because number one, I want them to be self-reliant, and they got to learn how to swim, change a tire, shoot a gun. To me, there's a kind of a list of things that you need to be able to do in order that I'll be confident that you can take care of yourself. But women also make a lot of decisions within their own family. Women vote.
Yeah.
So for me, if I can't turn every Canadian woman into a gun owner, although that would be nice, at least if I can get them to stop supporting bad liberal policy, that's really important. And lastly, because women also make a lot of decisions in their family, right? Like if you've got, a mom and a dad and a crew of kids, usually it's like, hey, mom, can we go to this? Or can we try this? Or, hey, mom, we want to get into this. And I really want women to understand, first of all, how safe the shooting sports are and how important they are to them, to their kids, and in particular to their daughters. So, yeah, I just want to keep growing. This is not, the 1960s. It's not a men's sport. This is 100% a place where you can come and be on equal playing field. With men, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what shape you're in. It doesn't matter your physical ability. Everybody can shoot and everybody can shoot well. So yeah, to me, it is the Canada sport.
Outstanding. Wonderful. I love that answer. And I love the point that women are the decision makers, often the influencers in households and the programmers for the kids when it comes to extracurricular activities. So it used to be dad went to the gun club and mom and the kids went and did something. So why not the whole family go to the gun club, or why not mom take the kids to the gun club?
Yeah, that's how
I did that, right?
Yeah, that's how it's been for me when the kids were younger. Of course, they're grown now, but I've got a little grandson and he comes with me, and hopefully one day I've got a little granddaughter to bring her there. One day.
One day.
Maybe my daughters will listen to this.
Well, send them the link. We know where to find it.
Okay.
So, Kelly, do we have any more Range Day questions? Because if not, I wouldn't mind asking what's going on with CCFR, seeing as we have Tracy here to talk to us about some of their upcoming events, an exciting one coming up in Calgary, and probably a few other things.
Yep. No, I think that I think people are probably going to, that have been listening to this, are probably going to be good with National Range Day, and they've gotten their question answered, or they can always go to nationalrangeday.ca to get some of those questions answered. So why don't we ask Tracy about the CCFR then?
Yeah, so it's been crazy over here at the CCFR. I feel like I say that all the time, but we keep waiting for that time when we've got a little bit of a lull in the action, but literally it just keeps going faster and faster. So I don't know, it's quite a ride over here. But we've got a huge event coming up May 25th in Calgary. We've got our annual general meeting, which will be in the morning. And that's sort of the business meeting and the boring stuff, department reports and financial updates. That's open to all CCFR members in good standing, and it costs nothing to attend. But that afternoon, starting at 3:30, we're going to reopen the doors to people who have bought a ticket. You can find them at ccfragm.ca. And we've got a big auction and fundraising banquet going on, a meal like you have never seen, like the most gourmet meal. It's called the Taste of Canada. And there's food straight from the East Coast, scallops and seafood and delicacies from the East Coast all the way across the country. There'll be stuff from every region and something for everyone. And of course, AAA Alberta beef. So I'm really excited about that part. And then, a bunch of auctions and stuff you can bid on and prizes you can win. And it's being supported by literally a huge list of business members and supporters. And we're having the one and only Jim Shockey come and speak to us about his hunting adventures and what's been going on with him. Of course, he's been a great supporter of the CCFR and a great opposer of C-21 and the May 2020 gun ban. So Jim's going to come and hang out with us, which is great. He's going to have his books there. So do a book signing. He's got a brand new book out. And yeah, so that's like a huge, big, crazy event that's been eating up a lot of my time. I think the business meeting, we will be streaming it online to our members. So watch for information about that. But if you want to see Jim and come check out the auction, you better get a ticket. So head over to ccfragm.ca. And of course, the whole gang will be there, Rod and I and all the directors and tons of volunteers and members. So it's just a really great chance to get together. And then the weekend after that is National Range Day. The following weekend after that, I've got Rod heading here to Ottawa, and we are attending the CPC Outdoor Symposium. Kelly, I think you came with me last year.
I did.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity for people from across the community, sort of leaders in each area of firearms, hunting, fishing, invasive species. Like there's all kinds of seminars and work that we do all day long. And then the following day, they're actually doing a wildlife dinner and garden party in Pierre Poilievre's backyard. So that's always a great time. You get to try all kinds of different little delicacies of, wildlife from across the country. Excuse me. And there's live music and the bar's going and Pierre comes out and chats and it's a lot of fun. And so we've got all that going on. I'm trying to think what else is happening. We actually, there's some news today about the appeal. We are appealing the decision about the May 2020 gun ban federal court challenge. And we got a decision today out of the federal court that Alberta was granted intervener status.
Nice.
So, yeah, we've got the provinces stacking up behind us against the feds, which is great. Oh, sorry, I'm just so dry because I talk so much. But yeah, so we don't have a decision in the appeal yet. We're still kind of going through that process. But it is really great to see the province of Alberta stack up behind us. Of course, Saskatchewan's right there with them as well. So God bless the West, but they're always got the backs of legal firearms owners. So we're working on that. And then we have a top secret election project that's kind of underway now. I can't even tell you about it, and you won't even know about it until it's already done and over. And then once we tell you all about that, you're just gonna be like, no way, that was amazing. That was you guys. You're gonna love it. But yeah, you can catch our bi-weekly updates on the CCFR radio podcast, which is on all the usual streaming things and YouTube. And then, of course, we also have CCFR radio on the air, which airs nationally, I think 3 times a week on Wild TV, on cable TV. So
yeah,
you can check out our updates there. And yeah, there's just tons of events and everything coming up. Tomorrow, I'm heading to Trent Hills to go battle one of those municipal discharge of firearms bylaw changes where they're trying to impede on legal hunters and start messing around with that, which is a very common problem in this province and in particular the country, really. So we're going to go fight that tomorrow. But yeah, it's never a dull moment. Like it's just go, go, go. There's tons of stuff to do. Yeah.
Every time I see a developer signs go up in proximity to a local gun range, I wonder how long it's going to be before there's some kind of debate going on about the proximity of the gun range that was there before the expansion of land use. So you guys never be short of things to do.
I find it interesting that Trent Hill, where it is located, it's in a the municipality is very rural, so I'm surprised that they're actually doing this. I don't think that they will have a positive outcome, but I'm glad that you're going to be going there and you're going to be representing the gun owners in that area and speaking about it, because you're quite eloquent when you do speak with if it's the municipality or if it's the provincial MP or if it's the MPP or it's the MP that's representing us in Ottawa. You represent gun owners in Canada quite well, so thank you for doing that.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And yeah, I think of nothing else. Sometimes people will see my spirited posts, get off your butts and let's go. If you want to make change, you've got to show up. And to me, that's the most important thing that the CCFR does is there's something going on, we show up. So there's no excuses, everybody up and moving. And a lot of times, even just the fact that I'm posting about it and saying, hey, I'm going. Are you coming? It's not even my area. I don't live there. But I want to come out and support the owners. And next thing you know, I think I've been to 4 or 5 town halls where we filled the building so bad they've had to move locations, move into arenas and stuff just to fit the people. So yeah, if we can keep doing that, then we can keep winning, because I don't think I've been to a town hall yet that they were successful in actually changing the discharge of firearms bylaws. So yeah, I'm on TKOs here, knocking them out everywhere I go. So hopefully we'll see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, it's a very rural area, and it's not even about a gun range. She doesn't want. There's one neighbor in particular who's gathered a petition, signatures on a petition. She's got 21 signatures, and she doesn't want any hunting. She's complaining about goose season. So yeah, I don't think it's probably going to be a difficult conversation. But again, the most important thing you can do is just show up and just keep showing up, because the moment we stop fighting for what we believe in, they'll take it.
Absolutely. And the facts, you guys are so good at presenting the facts and providing backup data for all of those facts, no matter what arena, so to speak, that you are in. And I think that's critical, because it doesn't matter what bill we're fighting, what ban we're fighting when it comes to firearms. We have to base these decisions on facts and not hearsay and not Hollywood and not somebody's stories that aren't, based on facts. So that's so good that you guys do that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to go.
Excellent. So one additional thing on things that are going on for CCFR, because I'm involved in the background, is the Gunnie Girl calendar.
Oh yeah.
You got some people applying and auditioning, or I think it's still open. Is it this week it closed?
I think it just closed. Yeah, we had quite a few girls try out, and that's a tough part, right? Because the calendar is a 13-month calendar. So, even if you use the cover, the most you can pick is 14, right? It's tough, because, we hate turning girls away. But literally we can only fit 14. So when we say, well, not this year, but try again next year, sometimes it's literally just a matter of not having enough spaces. But yeah, I mean, if I had it my way, we'd have a 50-month calendar every year, but it doesn't work that way. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, because that's always just a really fun retreat. And that we have these wild calendar weekends where we do a whole load of photo shoots, and we cook food and have campfires and drink wine, and it's kind of a girls only time, and it's a lot of fun, and we make friendships that last a lifetime, right? So a lot of these girls go on to stay best friends, and yeah, it's great. We've got lots of alumni.
Yeah, it's a beautiful group. You've got girls from 18 to 50 sitting in a room feeling the same passion about firearms, the same fears about having to be in front of a camera, and sharing life stories. And you're right, absolutely building great friendships. And I was honored to be a part of it, and that's why I stay involved in it, because it's a girls' weekend I can't give up. I can always count on that one in the summer. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun because these are just average girls. It's like, like you and I, right? And they show up in their sweatpants and a ponytail, and it's just, we're kind of, we're all little girls at heart, right? It's fun to dress up, and, whether you're in a gown or out there in a leather outfit or whatever, it's just kind of, it's fun and whimsical, and we have a great time. We produce a beautiful calendar, and we usually raise about $40,000 to $50,000 a year. That, of course, we use that money to put back into women's range days. So when your club is hosting a ladies' range day, and you found out that the CCFR supported it by sending a bit of money and some swag and all that, that's where it came from. We bought all that stuff and gave that money out of the money from the calendars. So, it's women, it's for women, by women, supporting other women. So yeah, it's probably my favorite pet project.
It's wonderful. And, I loved it was the last sort of 4 weeks, different events I was at, and women were like, is there still time to get involved? And I had women of all ages, all walks of life, some that had just got their PAL, and So it was really exciting because they felt like it was open to anybody. Now I don't know if they all applied, but all too often when you say photo shoot and calendar girl, people are like, oh, that's not me. And I said, well, it can be anybody. It's all about passion for the firearms industry. So
oh yeah, well, we had Emily in there a couple of years back, and I think she was just turning 60 that year. So we've had girls from 18 to 60, all shapes and sizes, colors, all walks of life. Like, it's literally open to anybody. In fact, if you're not a professional model, it's for you, because we are far less likely to pick somebody who is a professional model, right?
Right.
We want average girls who represent our community. And yeah, we have a blast, and they're all so wild and crazy and fun. And yeah, they walk in strangers and they leave best friends, and it's just the best time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to circle that back to National Range Day, because your point is that whole project and all the efforts goes towards raising money to support range days, specifically around women. And so it's the gift that keeps giving, really. And you can win prizes too. So it's kind of a cool project for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a cool project, and it's very tasteful. I mean, I think our calendars have hung in the halls of the House of Commons and here in the Ontario CFO office. And, it's not kind of one of those, trashy, not that there's anything wrong with trashy, automotive workshop calendars, but it's
there's
not that
places for those as well. However, the CCFR calendar is quite tasteful.
Yeah,
and again,
you could show your dad and not be embarrassed. So
it must be tasteful, because at the calendar signings here in Alberta, I have had ladies bring their husbands to buy them a calendar and get them autographed by the girls. So
wonderful.
That goes to show you how tasteful it is. So
yeah, absolutely.
So I think we have run out of questions, Kelly, and we have almost run out of time. So I would like to say, Tracy, thank you once again for coming on. Thank you for your insight, for all of your efforts towards supporting the gun owners in Canada, the gun lobby. You and Rod and the team at CCFR are absolutely angels for our sport, and I just can't thank you enough. And I am honored to have the opportunity to have these little projects with you guys, and opportunities to host some of these podcasts with Kelly and the girls of She Shoots. So thanks again, and I'm sure they all would love to say thank you as well.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Tracy, for coming on. As always, you know what? You're so eloquent in what you say, and your passion for gun owners here in Canada, but also for being one of my best friends. And always, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the end of the month, but also in a couple of weeks afterwards for National Range Day and all the adventures that we're going to be having this year. So I'm looking forward to that. But I did want to also say thank you again so much for coming on. I know how busy you are right now, everything that's being planned, and being able to come on and give a little bit of your time tonight. So thank you so much for doing that.
I wouldn't miss it for the world. I love your show, and you guys, thank you for what you do, and keep doing it, and don't give up. And we'll just keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling. All right. So why don't we bring in Casey and Rahina then?
Already here for you.
All right.
Okay, let's see. So let's move on to our upcoming events. CUSF is already kind of wind down. School's done for the year, I think now. Yeah, so it's spring, summer. So laying down for the most part. But that being said, CUSF still looking for volunteers. If you're interested, send a brief email to submissions@cusf.ca. Also, if you are a student at a Canadian university, or you're going to be a student at a Canadian university that does not currently have a university gun club, send us an email at submissions@cusf.ca. And this is the best time for us to help you get your club started for when you go back to school in September. Other than that, that's it for me. Kelly, Mapleseed?
Yep. So Mapleseed's getting into full swing. We have events happening all across the country currently. Go on to mapleseedrifleman.com. Check out the event calendar. We are adding dates as we're confirming them. Ontario has had a little bit of a slow start this year, but the rest of the country is in full swing, and we will be straight into the winter this year, I think. So getting on those winter seeds happening, as well as ladies' days as well. We've got a few requests for those too, so we're excited about those. What about you, Deneen? What about Lady Guns?
Man, oh man, there's lots going on here that I'm trying to get involved in. The DeWinton Club has their ladies and youth clubs starting for trap and skeet here in May. So they've got 2 seasons they run. The youth shoot day at Silver Willow took place already, was a huge success, and the Ladies Learn to Shoot is coming up. Chaz up in Edmonton is having their legendary Ladies Day coming up the same day as the AGM. So hopefully we'll have a lot of women out to that event. There are a bunch of dog clubs that are bringing mentoring in, and I've got a new puppy myself, and so I'm out with the dog clubs, and training season has begun. So getting involved there, and there's just a lot of requests for people that want to learn how to shoot. So I'm honored to be able to do some private stuff as well coming up. So, and I don't want to forget the Shooting Edge. They've started a great women's program there, and I like to give them a shout out for that, and support that as much as I can. So lots going on in the area, in and around Calgary, southern Alberta, and up in the Edmonton area. There's some women up there that are just doing some great work. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. So thank you so much, everyone. And I'll just start wrapping it up. So once again, thank you to our sponsors, Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fund, Savage Arms, Breda, Vortex, and Canada First Ammo. If you like today's episode, please leave us a like and follow so you don't miss out on any of our episodes. You can watch us on YouTube and Facebook, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. If you liked our message and would like to learn more about our programs, check out our websites at cusf.ca, ladyguns.ca, and maplesleevrifleman.com. To support us and get some additional perks, check out our membership programs. Thank you all for tuning into the She Shoots podcast, season 3, episode 28, National Range Day. And leave us a comment so we know what your National Range Day plans are for June 1st. So make sure to join us on June 11th for our next episode at the She Shoots podcast at our regular time of 5 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. MST, 8 p.m. EST. We know the drill. And keep an eye on our social medias so that you can find out the announcement for the next episode. Thank you all and have a good night.